A promotion.
ABC Sports presents live in its 27th season, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today from the Kansas City area, it's the $140,000 King Louie Open. Here's our field of 5. Looking for his first PBA championship and appearing in his second finals of the Winter Tour, Tony Westlake of Edmond, Oklahoma. He'll be bowling against the 1985 Firestone Tournament of Champions winner, Mark Williams of Beaumont, Texas. In the number 3 position, Leroy Bornhop of St. Charles, Missouri, who will be shooting for his second title. A 2-time winner here is Don Genalo from Perrysburg, Ohio. And leading the tournament and looking for his 3rd championship and the first since 1980, Sacramento, California's Palmer Fallgren. That's our field today on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, from the King Louie Lanes in Overland Park, Kansas, about 15 miles south of Kansas City, an ever-growing and beautiful area. It's always good to come back here because we always have a lot of action on these lanes. Immediately following Professional Bowlers Tour, ABC's Wide World of Sports today, the women's all-around competition of the World Gymnastics Championships Plus. Off the 120-meter hill in Germany, it's ski flying, Matti Nykänen included. All right, our first game is coming up, but before that happens, let's go down to the actual championship pair, where my colleague is Nelson Burton Jr. Bo?
Thank you, Chris. The King Louie tournament is considered one of the best and fairest tests on the Professional Bowlers Tour, and the reason lies beneath the lane surface. About 3 years ago, King Louie replaced the old lanes they were wearing thin with a new lane surface, but they did not change the undercarriage or the cribbage below these lanes. What allowed to happen then was that the old characteristic of the lanes that were here in the 1970s has come through, and a player can play a straight shot between the 2nd and 3rd arrows. But over the whole lane, they put the modern urethane finish. That allows the big hook ball player, the player like Mark Williams or Leroy Bornhop, to compete with the down and in player. So this gives a fair shot to everyone on the tour. Now, Chris, we're expecting some high scores, and there's a lot of prize money at stake. Ready for action.
That we are right here. 24,000 of the winner, 13 for second, 8, 6, and 5 out of a total purse of $140,000. Shortest man in the field, Tony Westlake, 5'6", 165 pounds, going against 6 foot 1 inch, 190 pound Mark Williams. So the first match live on the championship pair, and you remember our opening, Leroy Bornhop in 3rd, Don Genalo in 2nd, and our tournament leader, usually our statistician, Palmer Fallgren. Here's Westlake. Well, Bo, we're off and winging. Strike in the first frame.
Right, Chris, we have the 2 different styles. We have Tony Westlake with the more conventional style, the down and in style, very much under control, and now the power player, Mark Williams, coming up with this wide sweeping hook.
Second appearance this year, 3rd at the Showboat. Pretty shot.
Williams, a contemporary player with the 5-step delivery. Watch the wrist cup at the top of the backswing. Then the snap as he comes through with the pivot step, puts the pro move on the ball at the bottom. Good high follow through. Starts off perfect.
30 years old, 4 PBA titles. Double. All right, putting the pressure on Westlake, who's 29, from Edmond, Oklahoma. He was 3rd in Don Carter's New Orleans Classic this year. 4th TV appearance overall for him. Let's not make that fair, but he better.
Westlake, with a little bit too much speed, slides right by the head pin and leaves the wash out the 1, 2, 8, 10. Needs to get the ball on the left side of the head pin, drive the head pin over into the 10 pin, converting the spare.
tough break, isn't it? Did he almost do as you recommended, Bo? Did he hit the pins where you told him to?
Pretty close, Chris. He slides the head pin over it, but it misses a 10 as you look at his style. Shoulder high swing, good long slide. And in this particular lane, he just did not get the lift on the ball and slid by the head pin. Now he's up in the third frame. He trails by 22 pins.
Mr. Consistency. So now Mark Williams with the 4 titles, a lot of experience, earned $13,000 thus far this year, and he's a winner of 2 major PBA championships, the Firestone and the Budweiser Tournament Players Championship. Texan is looking tough. We asked him, he's back on track, can he keep it?
I like to practice my game as much as anyone on tour, and I feel when I get into a slump, I practice things I'm doing wrong too much and get into more of a rut. As I've gained more experience, I've learned to pinpoint my weaknesses better, and I'm working out of my slumps a little bit quicker. I missed cashing 4 weeks in a row, and I've come back pretty strong here to qualify 4th for the television round.
Well, the string is stopped at 3. Round of applause from the capacity crowd here, leaving the 2 pin.
And following up on Mark's audio tape, you must practice if you're in a slump, but you need some coaching, and so you're practicing the proper things and not the improper things. Changes to a harder ball for the single pin spare, he'll have a big lead.
All right, we're in the beginning of our first game. We'll be back.
It is no big deal.
It's a hassle.
Oh, it's called Master Care Car Service. Brakes, tune-ups,
Alignments?
no big deal. The mechanics are great. All their equipment, you'd swear they were technicians. And they stand behind their work 6 months or 6,000 miles.
Mastercare.
You're covered from Maine to Missoula. These guys are so good. Fixing your car is no big deal.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Mastercare Car Service by Firestone.
But I thought they just sold tires.
From microchip circuitry to laser technology, the world's largest school for high-tech skills is the Army.
Hey, where did you learn about computers?
In the Army.
You were in the Army, too?
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund, and you can earn over $25,000 for college.
What did you do in the Army?
Airborne.
You used to jump out of airplanes?
Here's why these New England fishermen take Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
I get aches and pains, runny nose, nasally, and Alka-Seltzer Plus works every time.
When I get a cold, my head feels like it's 3 feet thick. Alka-Seltzer Plus helps break through, helps me get back on my feet.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast, effective relief for tough winter colds.
In a word, it works.
Try new Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime cold medicine to relieve your cold at night.
Capacity crowd at the King Louie Lanes, the man that crossed this championship pair 3 times, averaging 252, trailing, though, in this first match by 31. That'll help get him back, though.
Just saws that 5 out. Good shot by Mr. Westlake. And here's the championship pair. And the oil pattern this week is approximately 28 feet of heavy oil in this area. Then it's carried down to about 45 feet, a little lighter oil, and then dry area in the back end. What the players must do is the big hook ball players, they can play out over the second arrow. The down and inners like Westlake can go straight down the second arrow.
Leaving a 4-pin. Bo, you as a professional bowler have to appreciate the fact that he has cashed so often in the 10 tournaments thus far.
No doubt, as you see his ball drifting a little bit high, the 2-pin goes to the sideboard, almost trips out to 4, and against Dave Sutar in the 42nd game, the 11th frame, he carried that hit to sneak by him and into the top 5.
Tony Westlake of Edmond, Oklahoma, has cashed 9 of 10 tournaments.
I think a lot to do with his style, Chris. He has pretty good power, good spare shooter, and he plays just the medium hook. Now Williams up, leads by 22, 5th frame. Crossing over and leaving the 3, 6, 9, 10.
You
could see the sharp break on the ball as it comes up high. It looks like it's going to settle in the pocket. Then, bing, Williams with that wide sweeping hook loses control, leaves the 3, 6, 9, 10. One of the most difficult spares for pro bowlers or any bowlers on the tour. You must make sure you get the ball between the 3 and 6 pins and still carry out that double wood 9.
Strikes will come.
And you could hear Mark say hook as the ball was heading down there, got between the 3 and 6 pins. Now he needed a little power to carry out the 9. Well done, maintains his lead.
Look how carefully he sets himself on the left lane. You hear the pin fall. That is Leroy Bornhop of Missouri, who will meet the winner of this first game, Tony Westlake. Yes. We asked Tony about his leading the tour in cashing percentages.
Well, Bo, before I came out on tour, I bowled in a lot of different bowling alleys and had a lot of experience on different conditions and different lane surfaces. And the second thing is I don't hook the ball very much, and I'm able to control it fairly well. And this year I'm making my spares a lot better than the first 2 years I was out.
All right, he could cut the lead down to just 8 pins.
Tony Westlake. Starting from the number 5 position, his opponent finished 4th overall from a field of 128. And as you see, Tony has closed the gap to within 8.
Strength, pride, tradition. For centuries, the Clydesdale has been known as a special breed. Today, the Clydesdales symbolize Budweiser's dedication to quality, superior ingredients, exclusive beechwood aging, and a distinctively clean, crisp taste that only Budweiser can offer. Quality taste. Because this Bud's for you.
Great personal service and low everyday prices, check the lineup at your neighborhood True Value hardware store. Where the March hardware value of the month is this Magnolia Oak Look toilet seat with a hand-rub finish and water-resistant top coat, plus top-mount hinges for easy installation. In March, get the rich look of oak with the Magnolia toilet seat. It's just $8.88 where you see the banner at participating True Value hardware store.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
Yes, all the great lady gymnasts going for the women's all-around today on Wide World of Sports and World Ski Flying Championships off the 120-meter hill. And by the way, a continuing look at Eddie the Eagle Edwards, the spirit of the Calgary Games. Plus, an interview with Pernell Whitaker, who lost in a controversial decision his first try at a World Professional Championship. That's on Wide World today, Bo. Sounds like a nifty show.
You're right, Chris. Now, Mark Williams leads by 8, has a strike working, can extend to 18.
Today during our very first game, and we hope Leroy Bornhop doesn't wear himself out practicing. He's really shooting off to a pair to our right.
Chris, here's a shot that really the pros love. It goes a little bit high, takes the 2-pin, throws it against the sideboard, and gets between the 4 and 7 pins, carries the high hit, and has extended his lead to 18.
All right, now on that left lane. Tap like that helps in professional bowling, any bowling.
What a shot. What a great break Mark Williams got right here. Watch the action of the head pins. Going to the sideboard, and you're going to see the 2-pin standing. But watch the old head pin come running around and take out the 2 and extend his lead over Westlake to 28. What a great break.
And Tony Westlake, there was a slight distraction. He stepped off the approach. Back on it now because he has a double up, and he's shooting in the 8th frame. Oh, yeah. And that little 5'6" fire plug means business.
42-game tournament. Westlake's, after 6 games, was 24. Then in the qualifying of 18, he moved up to the 16th spot. Kind of hung around in the middle of the pack, 18th, 19th, through the first 16 games of the finals, and made a tremendous charge in the last 8 games last night, finishing with 7 strikes in a row against Dave Sutar to jump into the top 5, and now he can cut Williams' lead down to just 8 pins.
Tony now is left with the 1-2-4 as he seeks his first title, last year winning over 40,000, and this year he has already earned, without winning, 24,395.
The ball just sliding by the head pin, and a good tip to be taken here. When you're zeroed in and you miss the head pin, it's normally when you just kind of jump on it too quickly. You just want to throw the ball too quickly. You don't wait for the swing, and you slide by the head pin.
So now, Mark Williams, who the year 85 was a good one for him. He won back-to-back tournaments, first in Windsor Locks, and then the next week, the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Mark Williams sailing along here in the first game.
Leading money winners, Bob Benoit, on the strength of that $100,000 paycheck from True Value on his 300 game, $129,000 you see down through Roger Bowker, $40,000, and Mark Williams, who has this game pretty well in hand, buoyed by a lucky strike in the 7th, a little bit even luckier in the 8th, and then a trip 4 in the 9th, has a potential 265.
Leaving a 7-pin on the left lane. Bob Palin and his crew here at King Louie have really packed them in here today. This is a wonderful bowling area, has been for years.
Williams with a shiny ball will be in the 240s.
All right, and Leroy Bornhop will be his opponent as we'll be back. The Professional Bowlers Tour is brought to you by Master Care Car Service by Firestone. Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. By Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 United States Olympic team. This Bud's for you. And by Ebonite International, where advanced technology has striking results. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our local station.
In auto racing, the big Q stands for quality. Quaker State's 11,000 RPM Porsche. Kenny Bernstein's 3,000 horsepower funny car. Ricky Rudd's high torque V8. These great racing engines demand the great name in motor oil. Quaker State with QSX. Proven to run clean for unbeatable protection from wear and tear.
And the Quaker State that protects all these engines on the track is the same oil you buy right off the shelf.
Quaker State, the big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
It's no big deal. Brake jobs? It's Master Care Car Service. Premium brake jobs. Terrific warranty.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Master Care Car Service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
When I'm fighting dandruff, I want all the help I can get. So now I'm using new extra strength Denerex with 39% more dandruff medicine. For my dandruff and itch, there's 39% more medicine in new extra strength Denerex. For great looking hair, I can't get too much of a good thing.
Monday.
That's Hank Aaron.
Baseball's back with a couple of heavy hitters. MacGyver, Monday.
Bowlers everywhere know the place to go for bowling equipment is Bowler's Supply. But did you know that Bowler's Supply has quite a selection of billiard tables and supplies, or that they can make any billiard table or top in the color and style of your choice? If not, stop in and see for yourself. And bowlers, be sure to ask about today's most popular balls on the tour, including Brunswick Rhino, Columbia U-Dot, AMF Angles, and the new urethane hammers. All can be expertly fitted and drilled to your size. So for selection and service, visit Bowler's Supply, 401 Carlisle Avenue, York.
My my, Wile E. Coyote's using the Donnelly directory again. It's a complete, colorful yellow pages that's better and easier to use. Oh, no. Ah, the Donnelly directory with street maps, white pages, and entertainment guides. It's a better yellow pages. Saved again. The Donnelly directory. It's the yellow pages and much, much more.
Watch Hollywood Squares, weeknights at 7:30 on WHTM.
And here in the Kansas City area, Mark Williams of Beaumont, Texas, with 8 strikes, 244 to Westlake's 212. Borhop is next. Next on our telecast is Nelson Burton Jr.
On last week's Ask Bo segment, we talked about the Bowling Hall of Fame. Well, during the week, our host of the Professional Bowlers Tour, Chris Schenkel, was honored with bowling's highest award, induction into the Bowling Hall of Fame. At the Jacksonville Convention Center, before a capacity crowd of more than 4,000 people, Chris received the award from the President of the American Bowling Congress, Dennis Sweeney.
I hope I can stay with it for a long time to come. Because it's been the joy of my life, and it's been truly the most consistent friend I've ever had as a broadcaster. Thank you, ABC. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Along with Chris Schenkel, 4 other inductees into the Hall of Fame 1988. On the left, Eddie Jackson, Mort Luby, Bill Tucker, and the man who bowled 300 on ABC, Johnny Gunther. And Chris, once again, congratulations. Bowling's highest honor. I have to feel, as a young man who watched professional bowling, came through bowling, and has worked with you going on, starting 14 years now, is no more deserved by any person than you, and thank you all. Thank you from all of us in the bowling community.
Well, it's my pleasure to accept it on behalf of all our colleagues at ABC. They had a lot to do with it. And the man that won the first game with 8 strikes and shooting a 244 has left the 10 pin on the left lane.
Williams shining up that low friction ball, which he opts for on most spare shots to cut the hook down, keep it in play, convert the spares, and he really has a determined look on his face.
All right. So it's a spare for the first game winner, as we now meet for the first time an interesting young man, 27 years old, from St. Charles, Missouri, Leroy Bornhop. 5th television appearance of his career, first of 1988.
St. Charles, just a little bit west of the city of St. Louis, in the Bowling Hall of Fame. Leroy can shoot some really big numbers when he gets hot.
Well, leaving that single pin, the only man to shoot a perfect 300 game this week here at King Louie Lanes.
Leroy with a little extra speed, pretty tentative, but not letting the ball drift high and maybe getting a split to open the match. Sends it wide. Pretty safe shot, easy spare.
Winner of the 1987 Budweiser Classic from the number 3 seed as we replay it profile view.
Leroy starts with that ball about shoulder high, has a pronounced push away, everything in pretty good position, and has learned to adjust the height of his backswing. There it's a little bit above his hip line, and now driving through the pivot step, pretty high follow through. The only thing Leroy has to worry about is that if he raises up too quickly at the line, he pulls the ball. So the match is all even after 1 frame.
And Leroy, you can sense the energy when he cranks it. There's this sort of like Mark Ruthing, just feel that lots being put on the ball. And here now, much taller at 6'1", is Mark Williams. Beaumont, Texas. Ten pin again.
Mark bowling very confidently, and you saw a pin rolling around, and if it had hit the rake and bounced back into the 10 pin, it would have been in play. We get a question every once in a while on Ask Bo that we can't answer, and one of them was a few weeks back, can a pin come back in play? And that is true. If that had happened, it would have been a strike.
Okay. Bo, back to Jacksonville. Many of the Hall of Famers came back, and what a bowling team I had behind me. How's this? Don Carter, Dick Weber, Ray Bluth, Chuck Pisano, Joe Norris. Would that make a team to take on the road?
That's for sure. A lot of experience, a lot of nice guys there. As you see, next week, the True Value Open coming up in Peoria, Illinois. $200,000 for a perfect game in that tournament.
And third in a row, 10-pin for Mark Williams. If you just joined us, he won the first game against Tony Westlake, shooting a 244, 8 strikes. Tony Westlake had a 222, big game.
Just real fair scoring. We've seen it all week long. Just the player gets nice and loose and stroking like Williams. He can put it in the pocket. It's just a matter of carrying those 3-pound, 7-ounce pins.
Oh, and I forgot one other member of that team, Billy Hardwick. Is that a good name to add?
One of the men who has won bowling's Triple Crown, Billy Hardwick.
And last week we showed a picture of the ring that he and Johnny Petraglia have. Billy has his. He antiqued the gold to make it even look more impressive.
Or to match his hair, one of the two, Chris.
One of the two, right. The blonde bomber from Louisville.
Borhop, 2-pin lead, can extend to 12 with a strike.
Earlier, we asked him what adjustments he's made to make his game more consistent.
Well, the first 2 years I came back out here, I've been able to cash consistently, but I haven't been able to win or make lots of finals. And Rich Weber has helped me get my backswing higher. It's about belt high now, and I can change speeds when I need to, and it helps me on lots of different conditions.
And there's 3 Weber boys. Pete, that we see as one of the leading bowlers in the world today. Rich Weber, and Johnny Weber runs one of the bowling centers in St. Charles owned by the Weber family. So Leroy, with a new style speed control, has really improved his game.
And now Leroy has left the 2 and sleeper 8.
His wife looking on, driving up from St. Charles, about a 4-hour drive. Cindy knows that Leroy has the very tough spare. Anytime you have a sleeper pin, you have to make sure you hit the front pin solid and carry the ball through to the back 8 pins. So Leroy, with this spare, would maintain his lead of 20 pins.
5-year-old daughter Tara watching too today. Well done. Leroy Bornhop against Mark Williams. We'll be back.
Thanks again, boys, and keep the change. You hear all this nonsense about Kellogg's Frosted Flakes being just for kids. Well, I, for one, eat them, and I'm going to go right on eating them. Frosted Flakes just for kids, come on. Like we adults have to go sneaking around, like we can't love these crisp, sweet flakes just as much as kids. Who is it?
You just have to admit it. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
No big deal. It's a pain.
No, Carrie, it's called a Master Care Car Service.
Brakes, alignments, tune-ups.
The works.
It's no big deal. And the 6-month or 6,000-mile warranty covers parts, labor, wherever they do Master Care service.
From Seattle to Schnecksville.
Sounds right, this Master Care.
So right that fixing your car is no big deal.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Master Care Car Service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
The women's all-around gold is at stake at the World Gymnastics Championships. Plus, the world's ski flying title is on the line on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next.
In red here at King Louie Lane, Tara Bornhop, 5 years old, and her mom Sunday, watching Dad go against Mark Williams of Beaumont, Texas, who is up now, and he's trailing by 10 pins. 3 spares. That one just went sailing.
See you later. And what we talked about, the characteristic of King Louie Lanes, you can play the big hook, but you must keep it between the 2nd and 3rd arrows. You send it too wide, it like slides off the cliff. Here's Mark Williams. He gets it out to about the 5th board. See you later. The lane characteristic holds it back, doesn't allow the ball to come back, and he's left himself a tough spare, the 1-2-4-7.
done. A little shaky at the end, but they're down. Mark Williams with a 244 in the first game, and Westlake's total was 212, not 222. So here we go. Game that may not be as high in scoring, but who knows, because we're just nearing the halfway point. Fourth consecutive spare, fifth frame for Williams. Boy, oh boy.
Really shortened his backswing that time and never gave the ball any room at all, and he has left himself a very difficult split to convert. He needs to get the ball over between the 3 and 10 pins, have the ball take out the 3 and 9, and deflect into the 10. He'll shoot it down the right side to get some angle.
Nope, open frame.
Surprising, Chris. He went to the extreme left, and when you're to the left, you can make the 3 and 10, but it's very difficult to get the 9 pin out. And so what happens, he hits the track area, what we're talking about, and the ball snaps too much. He carries out the 3-9. He's now trailing Leroy Bornhop, who's on the approach by 28.
Spare working. Just didn't get up. So now we can get a look, Bo, at how best to try to convert the 2-7.
A much easier split to convert than Mark Williams' 3-9-10. All that Leroy has to do is get the ball to the left side of the 2 pin, and the big hook he has will carry the ball right into the 7. It's almost an even money shot for a professional bowler. Leroy drawing that imaginary line with his eyes from the arrows down through the trajectory of the pine and into the 2 pin.
So now each professional here at the King Louie Lanes at Overland Park, Kansas, just outside of Kansas City, it's open frames.
Leroy doesn't like it. His ball doesn't take as much break as he expected. Hits the 2 pin right in the face instead of on the left side, and now has left the match wide open. Leroy has 895 through the 5th. Mark Williams 80 through the 5th. Only 15 pins separate the 2 pros.
Good comeback. Borhop with 1 title, Mark Williams with 4.
Mark Williams, kind of a hard luck guy in his early going on the PBA Tour. In 1984, he lost a regional tournament in Albuquerque, New Mexico to Peter McCordick. When he rolled a 279, McCordick had 290. So Mark Williams struggled a little bit until he got in the winner's circle in 85, and he's been pretty good since then.
See how they rebound, why they're on the professional tour after a miss, they're right back striking.
Through 9 tournaments, 1988, Mark Roth, 218 average, followed by some other household names, Weber, Voss, Todd Thompson, who we've seen in the championship round 3 times this year, and 1986 Bowler of the Year, Walter Ray Deadeye Williams Jr. round out the top 5 in averages. Williams now coming up in the 7th frame, leads by 15, can extend his lead to 25 with 1 more strike.
The 6 pin on the left lane, the man who has 18 television victories compared to only 8 losses. That is pressure shooting.
Gets a real good break here. Ball drifts high on the left-hand lane, has a 6, 7, and 10 pin standing. The head pin comes around, wipes out the 10 pin, has left Mark with an easy spare. With a conversion, he would trail Leroy Bornhop by 15.
All right, he covered the 9 pin here at King Louie Lanes. A break, and we'll be back.
You know, there's nothing like a winner. That's why I'm driving this, the Advanced Big Ford Pickup. America's best-selling pickup for 11 straight years. And I got more for my money with this special model. It cost me over $800 less than a comparably equipped Chevy. And I really go for Ford's advanced features, like multi-port fuel-injected engines and anti-lock rear brakes. Yeah, Ford. If you don't go with a proven winner, what are you going with?
Now get a $500 cash bonus from Ford on manual transmission F-Series pickups.
This is where you can call with AT&T, and soon this is where you can call with the worldwide network of U.S. Sprint. All the same places you can dial direct with AT&T, but with one major difference. You'll save on every single international call you make, no matter where in the world you call. So call Sprint now, because even though we'll go where AT&T goes, our rates will still be worlds apart.
It was done early this season. Now a perfect game is worth $200,000 at the True Value Open on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
Here is Don Genalo practicing, a man that's won 2 King Louie Open titles. Right here. He's in the number 2 position. He will meet the winner of our second match that is underway now between Leroy Bornhop, who is up and looking at the pins. It's going against Mark Williams, who won the first game over Tony Westlake, 244 to 212. Bornhop leading by 15. A strike-up can increase it to 25.
What a dandy shot Leroy rolled on that particular ball. And the lanes are kind of going through the transition we talked about at the top of the championship round. As you see Leroy's route to the top 5. He started off a little bit slow in the first 2 rounds of qualifying, then came on strong the rest of the tournament. And just to finish up what we're talking about, the lanes are now going from the transition of where you could play the big hook ball in that urethane finish and oil down to what we call the track blend. So you saw Leroy throw the ball right down the second arrow, cut his hook way down. That's what Richie Weber, his coach, wanted him to do on this type of condition. It worked perfectly, and he now has a 25-pin lead, can throw another strike and extend to 35.
Well, big break there for Leroy, who has a nice little sense of humor. He hit a beautiful shot in practice, and I said, you were robbed. He said, but I still have my wallet. I love it.
His ball slides by, and Leroy has what we call a spinner type roll, where the ball kind of rolls like a top down the lane. He turns his hand over the top of it. There you see it spinning and converts the spare.
In our second match, Bornhop and Williams. Williams now will be shooting in the 8th frame, getting really late for him. Winner of the first game with a spare up, trailing by 24. Well, 2, 4, 5, 7.
Tough spare, and Mark Williams in a tough situation. He has to make the spare to have any chance in the match. The best Mark Williams can roll now is a 190 game, or well, let me see, 196 if he converts it. Leroy Bornhop going at a 204 pace, so Williams must make the spare. Trouble.
Second open in this second game after looking so consistent and powerful. The first shooting a 244.
That's why we say this King Louie bowling surface is a test of all skills. It was like a par 3 on the first game that Mark Williams rolled. He had the big hook working, and now the lanes have toughened up. Is sort of golf jargon. The wind has come up, and he's got to change his shot a little bit.
And is left now with the 310 split.
He's quickly on the approach, needs to get that ball between the 3 and 10 pins, and his match is really in trouble right now.
So, making those furrows in the brow deeper. Tough break. He started so well. That's the competition that we've had for 27 years. The pressure is on here when the final 5 go for the $24,000. Another break.
Leroy Bornhop, who has this match well in hand, has the ball go down there and looks like it's apparently in good shape, and then that sharp hook he has at the last 10 feet breaks through, and he almost leaves the 4-10 split, breaks it up, leaves the easy 10 pin to convert.
Okay, Borhop will meet Don Genalo, a seasoned veteran from Perrysburg, Ohio, after this pause and message.
That pork chop suey you got railroaded into has hit you like a freight train. And now you're churning out of control. Quick, signal the bubbles of extra-strength Alka-Seltzer, because speed is what you need to derail that chug-a-lugging in your stomach and head. Next time you're on the Heartburn Express, flag down the bubbles and get back on track again fast.
Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
Try extra-strength Alka-Seltzer. More of what you take Alka-Seltzer for.
Is the place.
Ace 5-star latex flat wall paint, just $5.97 a gallon. This Ace clamp light is only $2.77.
Hey, lots of good stuff here. All over. You can't miss it. Hey, let me tell you, Ace is a place for me.
Scott once had a heart attack. Today, he had a son. Studies show aspirin helps reduce the risk of heart attacks. Ask your doctor about a regimen of exercise, the right foods, and Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders.
There's a level of performance that separates the good from the great. That's why Carmen Salvino designed the Ebonite Thunderbolt. The exclusive power core increases gyroscopic action for a sharper hook on heavy oil. And the Thunderbolt rolls farther before hooking, so it hits harder for less deflection and more striking power. The difference between good and great is the power of the Thunderbolt.
All right, bowlers practicing in the blue striped shirt. That's our tournament leader at the far side walking, Palmer Fallgren. We have Don Genalo now stepping in because he will meet Leroy Bornhop in the third game. 212-162 Bornhop, the winner, here at the King Louie Lanes in Overland Park, Kansas. On today's Old Spice Tip of the Week, Nelson Burton Jr. will show you how to use your trailing foot to help your accuracy on the lanes. Today's Old Spice Tip of the Week is brought to you by Old Spice Fast Track Wide Deodorant. It blocks odor better.
One of the problems that many players have, and especially the younger bowlers, is turning their body out of the shot. This causes the ball to go to the right and no leverage or control of the shot. There's an easy way to solve this problem, and that's to let your right foot, not your left foot, your right foot work as a rudder to keep your body on line with the target. Watch this as I throw this shot. Watch how my right foot holds my body in position. Remember, use that right foot like a rudder. It'll keep your body in line with the target and improve your accuracy.
Now let Bo help you score even more. You'll also fix problems, improve strategy, and practice smarter with Bo Burton's new bowling video.
This video is for you.
ABC Sports and Old Spice bring you Bo Burton's new instructional video, Score More. Just $24.98 plus $3 shipping. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
It's more effective than the leading men's deodorant. It's been proven better in clinical tests at blocking odor. It's Old Spice Fast Track Wide Deodorant. It blocks odor better.
The NASCAR Speed Burners are back. The Atlanta International Raceway roars to life for one of the premier races on the circuit. Challenged by an all-star field, Neil Bonnet goes for his third straight victory this season. It's live flag-to-flag coverage of the Atlanta 500 tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Today, we're in Kansas. Next week, right by the Illinois River in Peoria to Ray Becker's landmark lanes for the True Value Open. Big event, followed by Milwaukee Championship in that Wisconsin city, followed by the Fairlanes Open in Baltimore, Maryland. We return there. And then one of the Triple Crown, the Coolers, Seagram's Coolers United States Open, Atlantic City, Showboat Lanes. Next 4 weeks, this week, we go into our semifinal game now, and Don Genalo, who was on last week's telecast from Toledo, and a man who has won twice here, goes against Bornhop, who won against Williams 212-162.
This man, I figure to be the toughest in the field today.
Come on. Strong start.
He's got the perfect game. He has the confidence going. He made the championship round last week in the PBA National Championship. He's won twice here, and he has the right line, the down and in shot, which is working right now on the lanes, somewhere between the second and third arrows. Leroy Bornhop, in order to be competitive, has to pick up that speed, throw the ball a little bit straighter, and hopefully have that ball set right in the pocket. Don't cover so many boards.
Almost. 10-pin on the right lane for Bornhop. Let's see it again from another angle.
You see the spinning release of Leroy Bornhop, the ball making about 14 revolutions down the lane. He'll hit the head pin light. It'll come sailing across from the left sideboard, almost getting the 10-pin. But he made the proper move towards the pocket. He cut his hook down, threw the ball a little bit straighter, and he can be competitive against Janello with that type of shot.
Getting the channel, coming up, covering the 10-pin. Remember, his opponent opened with a strike, Don Genalo. Waiting now in the wings, practicing occasionally, is Sacramento's Palmer Fallgren. One of the neat guys anywhere. With 6 strikes in his victory over Mark Williams, now his first of this semifinal match.
Smart move by Leroy. Cuts the hook down. He's playing the lane. He says, hey, the track characteristic that we were talking about is coming through as you look at the grip of Don Genalo. A 5.5-inch span using a urethane bowling ball, has a strike up.
Don Genalo's picked up by the wireless microphone he's wearing. He'll take the Brooklyn.
Janello, textbook style, has that shutter 4.5-step delivery. Look at that head, nice and steady on the target. Locked elbow. Look at the position of that right elbow. Wrist nice and flat. Good long profile. Stretches through, pulls this ball, crosses over to the Berardi side of the lane, the 1-2, as we've seen Joe Berardi use that side of the lane to win this tournament one year. Now Janello trying to capitalize.
Come on. Good man, originally from Long Island, now has a 3-bagger here in our semifinal game. For Bornhop, a strike up. He'll be shooting in the third. He can cut the lead to 10.
Leroy Bornhop picking up the spare, as you see, the Atlantic 500, which is a great, great race. Speeds over 170 miles an hour, Chris. Exciting. Ricky Rudd, I like to watch him running that race.
And the NASCAR point leader, Neil Bonnet, going for his 3rd victory of the year. That's tomorrow, an exciting day. ABC Sports.
Now, Leroy up, 4th frame, 2 strikes working, can cut the lead of Janello's down to nothing. It would be an even match with 1 more strike.
Oh! Now, one of the most unusual strikes we have seen anywhere. But he'll take it. We're going to take a break right now and be back.
Did what?
I just invented the wheel.
May I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Try these.
What are they?
Monroe Gasmatic Shocks. They'll give you the best ride ever. Guaranteed. Monroe Shocks and Struts are the next best thing to the wheel.
Guaranteed.
In riding, pal.
Hey, yeah, great ride.
Looks like we won't have to reinvent the wheel for another, million years.
Hey, no wonder America rides Monroe.
This bud's for all that you do.
Papers say you busted it up pretty good. This is where we start.
You got a long road back. You missed the cheers. Can't beat those guys.
have something that won't let us quit. The clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser.
To your first game back.
This one's for you.
The women's all-around gold is at stake at the World Gymnastics Championships. Plus, the world ski flying title is on the line on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next.
The beauty of gymnastics and the thrill of ski flying, but look at this strike.
Watch the action of the 2-pin. That's the 3rd pin on the left-hand part of your screen. It's going to the sideboard. It looks like he has the 4-7-10 split. But here comes the 2-pin. It knocks out the 4. The 4 slides over. Hits the tail end of the 6. The 6 takes out the 10. And when you add it all up, it's a strike for Leroy Bornhop to even the match against Don Genalo, who is perfect through 3.
The Copperfield or Houdini strike, we'll call that one.
Oh, good. That was a good shot.
Talking to it, and he gets the bucket. 2-4-5-8. Love those wireless mics to get the reaction from the player.
And Don Genalo has a few words to say to that ball once it passes that arrow zone. And the 2, 4, 5, and 8, once again, have to avoid chopping the 2-pin off the 5, but still carry through to carry the 8-pin out.
Well done. Don Genalo has won twice on these lanes. We asked him why this center is so good to him.
I feel I have a good shot in this bowling center because it usually requires going straight down the lane and with a little bit of hook on the end and relying on accuracy, and I feel that's my strong point.
All right.
Strong point of any game that you use a ball in. You can shoot a basketball all you want. If you can't put it in the cylinder, it doesn't count. Accuracy, 95% of the game. Janello trailing by 4.
There you go.
Today. Now bowling out of Perrysburg, Ohio, a suburb of Cleveland, where we were last week for the PBA Trust Corp National Championship. He's pumped up, you can tell.
Very confident coming into the championship round. He came down earlier this morning. As you see the World Ski Flying Championships coming up, Chris, is that similar to the ski jumping you did in the Olympics?
Yes, it's 30 meters more, which means they could reach 600 feet.
In the air.
In the air, flying.
Not for me. Here's Leroy, has a chance to take a 14-pin lead.
Well, he's left with only the 2-5 instead of the bucket.
The history of the championship pair, King Louie, 19 and 20 out of a 32-lane bowling center, has always been who can hit lane 20. Dave Sutar needed a strike on this lane last night. The last ball of the tournament, 42nd game, missed the head pin. When Jimmy Pritz won last year, it was his ability to conquer the right-hand lane that made the difference. And once again, the story's the same today. Who can hit lane 20?
Leroy Bornhop, who won the Budweiser Classic from the 3rd seed, where he started from today, also has done well at landmark lanes in Peoria, so you may remember his name for next week.
Leroy breaks up the 3-6-7 split, ends up with just a 6-pin to shoot at. Leroy just easing off on the speed a little bit, has the ball drift high, and momentarily has a split standing, gets a good break, has an easy spare. He will maintain a 1-pin lead with the conversion.
All right. Don Genalo up next. He won the Long Island Open, Seattle Open, won in Windsor, Canada, won in Milwaukee, and then twice here in Overland Park. Fine career.
And a great clutch player. Let's see what kind of adjustment he makes on 20. He's been high and light. Let's see if he can get zeroed in right here.
6.
A 4.
The words of Don Genalo, sit. And what he was asking for is the ball just to not drift high and leave the 4-pin. He thought he made the proper adjustment, as you see his wife Marion looking on, and he thought the ball would be solid in the pocket, but the track area, the worn area, the old characteristic, whatever you like, caused the ball to drift high. This is a great championship competitive pair.
And remember, as we look at Mary Janello, that the winner of this match will meet the tournament leader Palmer Fallgren. Don Genalo round by round. Look where he was at the first round, and a nice stair-step advancement.
No doubt, 18 games qualifying, 24 in the finals. Trying to hold that second position right now against Leroy Bornhop and challenge our tournament leader, Palmer Fallgren.
Okay, little knee bending and wishing at the line, and he gets his wish. Close match, don't go away, the semifinals. Skating here as well as bowling, you're right.
No big deal. Tune-ups? It's Master Care Car Service. Great tune-ups with a computer that talks to your car.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Master Care Car Service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
I had to try this to believe it. Denerex tingles. Tells me it's doing more. Selsun Blue, no tingle.
Both Denerex and regular Selsun Blue have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine.
So long, Selsun Blue. Hello, Denerex.
To babies about the Kodak Color Watch system.
Psst, babies, learn to talk now. See those big people taking your picture with the wonderful Kodak film? Tell them to get great developing, to look for the Kodak Color Watch seal. Color Watch means great developing. See, this seal says every picture is printed on Kodak paper. Come on, babies, your photos are important. Don't take this lying down. Kodak Color Watch for great developing. You're gonna thank me for it. Goo goo gaga, goo goo tippy.
It was done early this season. Now a perfect game is worth $200,000 at the True Value Open on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
There he is, the popular tournament favorite. Hasn't won since 80?
1980, Palmer Fallgren won the True Value Open, which is next week's tournament. He just dominated the field here, but he's waiting on the wings to see which player he will compete against for the championship round. Leroy Bornhop, who leads by 1, or Don Genalo, 7th frame.
Oh, needed that. Needed that. 9.
What a wonderful shot, and watch the action here. Here's the 9-pin back here. The ball is so powerful, it takes out the 1-3 and supposed to deflect into the 5 and then bounce to the 9. It does not respect the pins at all. That urethane ball drives through 1-3 and just saws the 5 right off the 9. Bad break for Leroy Bornhop, but what that does is brings the match all even through 7 frames.
Let it take off a little tension and pressure because he made it, and that's what counts. The semifinal match, you go into that final game, the runner-up or loser will receive $13,000, the winner $24,000. The loser of this game is out, yet gets a check for $8,000.
Oh, man, Leroy guards the composure. The match is all even. He sends it wide, and he just hurt that 5-pin. Ball came through the 1-3, and he snapped that 5 out, putting some pressure on Janello. It's back and forth championship action. The right to meet our tournament leader, Fallgren. Now, Janello, 8th frame, has a chance to take the lead. He has a strike up, can make his lead 10 pins with a double.
Winning here in uneven years, 83 and 85, he's picked up his following. Last week in Toledo, being resident of Perrysburg nearby, he had his followers. It's great when they pick out somebody.
Yes, it is, and Don Genalo is a great man to follow. He's a good stylist. Watch the grip of Don Genalo. It's over a 5.5-inch span, fingertip grip.
Strong at the end with that foundation strike. Janello.
Janello, look at the eyes, concentration. Watch how disciplined he is. Eyes down, eyes down, eyes down. Holds that follow through, holds that follow through. Leroy, look at this strike I'm going to throw. You're trailing by 20 pins. You have to strike here, Leroy. I have the pressure on you. 9th frame.
Strike up. Oh, he accepted the challenge. Leroy Bornhop.
Leroy says, I'm from Missouri and I came to play. Right now, Don Genalo, possible 256. Leroy Bornhop, possible 246. But it's all coming down to the 10th frame. If Leroy strikes on his first shot here in the 10th, the match will be even.
Left lane. High hit, a 3-6-10, scratching his head.
Just one little chink in the armor of Leroy Bornhop, and that's what we call rising up or raising up at the foul line. Just as you try to get that little extra speed, it happened right there in the 10th. The match is not over, but he's put himself in a little bit of trouble. The best he can shoot is 223.
Worried about that shot after the release, too. Looks with the overhead score sheets here at the King Louie Lanes. 22nd year that we've come here to televise the finals of this event.
And I like those large overhead scoreboards, not only for league play, but it's terrific for tournament play. Leroy Bornhop, possible 223.
223 for Bornhop. He is finished in this game now, Janello.
Don Genalo needs 9 on his first ball to guarantee himself a tie, a spare or a strike, and he wins.
Shot. That
was real good.
Look back at the game of Don Genalo. He got a good break in the 2nd frame as he crossed over on the left-hand lane here. Got another good break in the 8th frame as he just threw a perfect shot. He breaks up the split here in the 10th. Now he must convert the 3-6 spare to win the match. If he does not convert, as his wife Mary looks on, Bornhop wins and will go on to meet Fallgren.
Right there.
Right there, and he was that. Okay, it'll be Janello and Palmer Fallgren. The Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message and a word from our local station.
I love discovering the Americas. Plymouth Horizon America. Sticker price only $59.95. Same price without the sticker. Then I discovered Plymouth Reliant America. Best equipped at lowest price at any car in class. Both front-wheel drive, both protected longer than Russian winter. What wonderful values.
Plymouth introduces America's winners. Get $500 cash back on Plymouth Reliant America.
It's no big deal.
Brake jobs?
It's Mastercare car service. Premium brake jobs. Terrific warranty.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Mastercare car service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
This man is twice as strong as this man. Tums EX is twice as strong as Rolaids. So Tums neutralizes twice the stomach acid. Tums EX, twice as strong as Rolaids.
We have a positive contact. This is not a drill.
Supercarrier, Sunday.
Your Cadillac Super Network dealers are introducing the 1988 Liberty Edition Coupe de Ville for a limited time, while they last. These special Liberty Editions have gold appointments and nameplates with two-tone genuine leather seating areas, red, white, or blue exteriors, plus there's a full cabriolet roof at no extra charge. It's the only full-size production luxury coupe with V8 power and these special features. See the Liberty Edition at your Cadillac Super Network dealer today.
Simplicity would like to take you for a quick spin. The maneuverable new Sunrunner, the first front-cut rear-steer riding mower priced for the homeowner. Now at your Simplicity dealer.
Watch Janelle Stelson with weather on 27 News at 6.
I'm Frank Gifford. Today on Wide World of Sports, two events that require strength, agility, and a perfect complement of mind and body. From Rotterdam, Holland, the World Gymnastics Championships. 14-year-old Aurelia Dobre of Romania is an adorable emerging favorite, conjuring up images of countrywoman Nadia Comaneci. From Oberstdorf, West Germany, the World Ski Flying Championship. Triple Olympic gold medalist Matti Nykänen tests the limits of human flight from a 120-meter hill. Join us on ABC's Wide World of Sports after the final match. Now back to Chris.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you very much, Frank. And there you see Don Genalo, 234 to Leroy Bornhop's 223. So Janello, who's won here twice, goes against Palmer Fallgren.
Small field, 128 players. Normally we have 160, and you see the averages that were bowled this week, 210 to make the top 24. As we look at some of the other players, Cranker Monicelli in 6. Defending champion Fritz there. Soupy, my old buddy, gave it a run. Todd Thompson. Ron Palami cranking it up this week. There's Sam Macarone, another couple of power players in there, Pinsek and Keith. And Webb, he had it cranked up this week. Lost the national championship. Ricky Rudd's his favorite driver. He'll be in the line at 500 tomorrow. Kent Wagner, Stayrook, the lefty. Berardi, Joe Merrill, Norm Duke, Erie Dickinson, and ex-pro golfer David Waswo, 23rd. Tom Adcock, 24th.
Okay, now walking with his back to on the left. That's the tournament leader, Palmer Fallgren. And Bo, you finished 28th there. Hey, come on.
Bo Burton, a nice check, thank you. And our statistician filling in for Palmer Fallgren, Art Trask, 35th, picked up a check for $1,320. Now, the championship game. Don Genalo, who has won this tournament twice, will start the match.
Look out.
Well, broke up the split. Man that shot 234 in the last game with 8 strikes to eliminate Bornhop's shot at 223.
I loved his comment on that wireless mic. He says, Don Genalo, you know you've been here before, remember? What do I do? This man is a real winner. He'll figure something out.
Okay, now we got our first look today at 37-year-old Palmer Fallgren. Take it. And he does a quick look up here because, as Bo mentioned, he is our usual statistician, Bo's roommate on the road, and somebody we've known and enjoyed for a long, long time.
You're right, Chris. And, you know, he used to tell me about my putting. If you don't get it to the hole, you can't make the putt. And if you don't hit the head pin, you can't strike. So Palmer starts off with a good break, trips to 6, needs to take advantage of that good break to start. Right here, second frame.
You don't think this isn't pressure? Palmer hasn't been on television since 1983.
Well, some of it's his bowling undoing because he doesn't bowl on a regular basis except this year, and part of it is he's changed his game. He's gotten top physical condition, and he's ready to win. Now, Janello, second frame.
Gets a tough break. Oh, goodness, leaving the 6, 7, and 10.
We're talking about the right-hand lane being the key every week, and once again, this week is no exception. As you see, Janello going right through the middle, knocking out the center pins, leaving the 6, 7, and 10. Needs to slide that 6 over into the 7 to convert the split.
Hey! Look out. Any competitor. After converting the 6, 7, 10, ooh. Well done.
What a dandy shot. Janello keeping Fallgren close. Two of the most accurate bowlers I've ever seen before on the tour. Janello not worried about that split, just nips that 6 pin, drives it over into the 7, keeps the pressure on Fallgren. Just tremendous.
head.
All right, what a break. He trips the 4-pin out right here. The head pin comes across and does the damage. What a break. Now Fallgren going for 3 in a row.
Leaving the 6-10. Is he hurrying in a little bit?
Well, it's hard to say what's going through his mind. Right now, he does have the lead. Maybe he was pushing Janello a little bit, but a cross lane to maintain this lead.
Palmer Fallgren, who stormed to the front and making the cut in 20th position. And what a match play performance, Bo.
Second best record, Chris, that has ever been on the Professional Bowlers Tour. 1974, George Pappas had 22 wins and 2 losses in the 24-man finals. Palmer Fallgren had 21 and 3 as he dominated the field. But that's all by the wayside now, because if he doesn't go 22 and 3, he cannot win the tournament. Right now, 4th frame, he leads by 11.
He opened with a double, a spare, and a strike. He's pumped up. We'll be back with this championship after this.
Quaker State, the big Q stands for quality.
We engineer quality into every drop of Quaker State motor oil. Only Quaker State has QSX, an advanced formula proven to run clean for unbeatable protection from wear and tear.
Before our oil's good enough for your car, we prove that it works in our car.
Quaker State quality. We don't just talk about it, we live by it.
Quaker State, the big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
Scott once had a heart attack. Today, he had a son. Studies show aspirin helps reduce the risk of heart attacks. Ask your doctor about a regimen of exercise, the right foods, and Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders.
Mom, send $500 to him, or there won't be a honeymoon.
To send money fast, come to Western Union. It'll get to any of our 10,000 locations, usually in 15 minutes or less. Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
We have a tremendous championship match going. A man who's won here at King Louie twice over the years against Palmer Fallgren, who hasn't won since 1980. Close. And with that strike, a double for Don Genalo. He has come within 1 pin of the tournament leader, Fallgren.
Precision by Janello. Look at him looking down at the approach, figuring out exactly which board to stand on. He'll move just a quarter of a board. He's so accurate to control that lane. He's my pick to win the tournament, even though he's going against a tough opponent. He can now take the lead with that long span fingertip ball by 9 pins with 1 more strike.
Come on, baby.
Really talking today, more than we have heard him in the past, and with that 3-bagger, that puts him on top by 9, and that can change if Palmer Fallgren can strike in the 5th frame. Strike working for him. Janello and Fallgren.
Key shot, right-hand lane. Both players have been struggling. Janello made the adjustment in the 4th. Let's see if Fallgren can do it in the 5th.
He sure did. Physically fit, Palmer Fallgren.
Palmer 4-step delivery by the textbook. A lot of this is credited to one of his good friends, Freddie Borden from Akron, Ohio. Spent many an hour with this young man. Everything shoulder high, straight ahead, eyes down. Look at the extension. Big, big shot there. And, you know, Chris, I've been around Palmer a long time, and he's never been in the #1 position before, but he's come from behind before, so let's see if he can take this tournament. Now, here's the leaders by round. We said it was an even tournament. Look at 6 different leaders, 6 different rounds. First time all year. Now, Fallgren leads by 1.
Ripping through, but leaving the 10 on that left lane. 24,000 to the winner here today.
A spare would make the match even through 6 frames.
$11,000 difference, winning or losing, but the title is important. Earning it.
You're right about that title, Chris. 11,000 is a lot of bucks, but also the Firestone's at stake for Fallgren. Janello, due to his 6 PBA championships, has a berth in the Firestone. Fallgren has not won in 8 years. Now, match even, 6th frame. Janello can take the lead with a strike.
Too soft.
He told you the story. Too far, up too high, 310. Converted to 6, 7, 10 earlier.
And one of the keys to bowling is speed control. What he said is up too high, as you see. He needs to get the ball on the right of the 3-pin, let the ball deflect into the 10 to convert it. One of the keys to good bowling is to be able to control your speed. He threw it too soft, it drifted high, and now he has a tough shot.
Hook a little.
Well, leaving the 3. Open frame in the 6 after a 3-bagger. And now it's a 14-pin lead by Palmer Fallgren.
The usually super accurate Don Genalo just missed by a whisker. He needed that to maintain his even pace with Fallgren. Now he falls in arrears by 14, 7th frame.
Came back with that classic style again, long and sure follow through. And then after a disappointing frame, they're remarkable how they come right back with a strike. Fallgren up now, and he has a spare working, leading by 14, shooting in the 7th frame of this championship game. Mixing. We asked Palmer what his future holds. Here's what he said.
Well, Nelson, I'm going to finish out this season, which is my 19th season. I'm going to move down to Boynton Beach, Florida, and work in the bowling business, in the pro shop business, and bowl part-time, maybe 5, 10 tournaments a year. Keep my hand in it. I love bowling, and I'm going to stay in it until I become a senior, so I can bowl the seniors tour.
Well, that's a good project for him. He's 37 and a little while to go, but he's well-liked along the way.
Now, big frame. He can open a commanding lead with a strike.
Okay. He's really controlling his emotions out here, more so than I've ever seen. Usually he'd be running it out 5 lanes away or something.
Boy, oh boy, very observant there. You know Palmer as well as I do. He's electricity waiting to happen. Now, Janello needs to hit lane 20 to stay competitive in the match.
Yeah. What a great champion. 6-time winner. Well, you deserve the pat on the back, Mr. Janello.
Janello, the type of player you do not want to take to the 10th frame. His profile reads that he has won 3 championships here on ABC TV by coming in the 10th frame, trailing and throwing strikes to win. His last one in Milwaukee, where he threw a double to beat Mark Roth. Now he can make this match within 4 pins if he can strike in the 9th against Fallgren.
Clutch shot. And the 8th pin.
What a bad break for Janello. Solid in the hole. It would have evened the match almost up, put the pressure on Fallgren. Watch the action as the ball cuts through the 1-3 and just overpowers the 5-pin. It should take out the 8, but not to be. Tough break for Janello. Boom. Key 9th frame.
Okay, so Palmer Fallgren, a 15-pin lead with a double-up 9th frame, and following our live telecast, Wide World of Sports. Get this doubleheader. World Gymnastics Championships, the most exciting of all, women's all around. And from the 120-meter hill in Oberstdorf, Germany, world ski flying. And, of course, we'll have a continuing follow-up on the Spirit of the Calgary Games, Eddie the Eagle Edwards. And an interview with Pernell Whitaker, a controversial loss in a World Championship try last week. Wanted that one, left to 7.
Palmer kept the ball in play. He'd love to have that strike, but he doesn't want to drift high and give another opening to Janello as the match goes back and forth. And you see, as the way Fallgren fairly snuck in the finals, qualifying 20th, then got red hot, winning 21 of 24 matches. Now he's in position to take the title. Look out.
Ooh, almost. stuck at the line. Almost.
Palmer, very deliberate. The situation for him is simply this. As you see the replay of the 7-pin, he lets those shoulders get a little bit forward. He doesn't want to lose control of the ball, and he says, giving a little decoy shot. There's nothing wrong with the approach. He says, I just want to win this title. Now, for Palmer, the scoreboard tells the story. He needs to fill 17 pins in the 10th frame to win his 3rd title and a trip to the Firestone.
Anxious moments at the line bow. He really did. He wasn't sure whether it was going to happen.
The wall shot. Palmer keeps it in play, and he knows where he's going the last week of April now. He knows it when he lets go of that. You just don't know, Chris, how many years he's been waiting to throw that ball. 8 years.
Yep, and we have followed him and have admired his tenacity and his getting into condition, physical shape, mental shape.
Janello will win a lot more, but this man here deserves that title.
Well, he gets 8.
Well, Palmer proved one thing. He's never lost a championship game. He's never won #1 before, but he did it today.
That's one of those very gratifying victories, whether we knew him as well as we do or didn't, because he has really battled, not winning since 1980, imagine, and still coming out here and trying. The victor, Palmer Fallgren, will be back. The Professional Bowlers Tour is brought to you by Alka-Seltzer. For stomach upset with a headache, send the bubbles of Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. By Master Care Car Service, by Firestone. Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. And by Quaker State Motor Oil. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
Who wants to go first? You mean we actually say it? Nothing tastes more like home than Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Welcome home. May I help you? Good.
How about welcome home to Chicken Done Right?
There you go.
I got one. Make yourself at home. The coleslaw's fresh.
And the buttermilk biscuits are hot.
Nice to have you home.
You're never too far, so come as you are.
Welcome home.
Kentucky Fried Chicken is home.
We'll run the lights here.
Ask for Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
Because everything else is just a light.
No big deal. Tune-ups? It's Master Care Car Service. Great tune-ups with a computer that talks to your car.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Master Care Car Service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
Now, Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine introduces a new nighttime formula.
It helped clear my sinuses where the pressure builds up so I could breathe and sleep better.
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime Cold Medicine. Nothing puts your cold to sleep faster.
The women's all-around gold is at stake at the World Gymnastics Championships. Plus, the world's ski flying title is on the line on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next.
226 to 210, and we couldn't be happier. Disappointed for Don, of course, because he is great and bowled great today. But for you, Mr. Fallgren, a title was so important.
Well, yeah, it is. The win is always, it's great. And that's was #1 thing on my mind when I was bowling Don. Sometimes I got lost in the game. I didn't even know what frame I was in. And Don left the solid 8, which was just a horrible break. I got a good break in the 10th frame, and sometimes that's what it takes to win. And it happened.
Well, Bob Palin, president of King Louie, is right here with a wonderful trophy, which I know you will accept, and I think equally important is a check, Bob.
Palmer, you're a real gentleman and a great champion, and we're pleased to have you as the champion of the 1988 King Louie Open. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, Bob. I know Bob Palin for a long time, and I've been coming to the Kansas City area and this bowling center since 1970. And we've known each other for a long time, so he had that speech ready for me, yeah?
You know, your roommate had these wonderful tears of happiness in his eyes because you're great pals. Here he is with Don Genalo both.
Well, I'm proud of Palmer, but Don Genalo, a lot of championships. You're in the Firestone, and really the whole story was the right-hand lane for you.
Yeah, the right-hand lane broke down a little more than I expected it to, and I didn't adjust to it quick enough. I also made a couple bad shots, which cost me, but hey, Palmer bowled a great game. He deserved it.
Well said. Palmer Fallgren, congratulations. Chris, back with a champion.
Palmer, you indicated on one of our little sound bites, you know, that you were only going to bowl occasionally next year taking a bowling job. Does this victory change your future plans?
No, it doesn't change anything. The victory was sweet, but I'm still going to get a business going and bowl part-time on tour. It's real hectic traveling around, as you know, because you guys have been traveling a lot of years. And I want to get off the tour and settle down. And I'd like to thank my buddy Nelson. He's helped me out all week, kept me calm all the time, and told me to do one thing, and that was to win the tournament. We did it, buddy.
You're a champion, and Firestone will be coming up for you.
All right.
Again, congratulations.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay. Palmer Fallgren, the champion, the executive producer of ABC Sports, is Jeffrey Mason. The Professional Bowlers Tour is produced by Carol Letty, directed by Jim Jeanette, technical director Les Wise. Now this is Chris Schenkel, along with Nelson Burton Jr. saying so long from Overland Park, Kansas. Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports, presenting two world-class events, the world's finest female gymnasts competing for the all-around title at the World Gymnastics Championships, plus great action in the 120-meter hill thrills of the World Ski Flying Championships. We'll also talk with Pernell Whitaker about last week's controversial bout for the WBC Lightweight Championship and a follow-up on Eddie the Eagle Edwards. Final score once again, 226 to 210.